Please welcome Joseph Deitch and Carolina Garcia Jayaram of the Elevate Prize Foundation and the recipient of the Elevate Prize Catalyst Award, Michael J. Fox.
At the Elevate Prize Foundation, we believe that stories have the power to transform the world, to fuel us, to dig deeper, to reach higher, and to take action. They show us how the impossible can become possible. And aren't we all indebted to those who bring these transformative stories to life, using their platforms to share their stories? This evening, we are here to celebrate one such activist, an icon, who has been in our homes and in our hearts for decades. In the face of an enormous personal challenge, you chose to share your story and to use your enormous platform to help others and to demand a cure for a deeply complex and misunderstood disease. And you have taught us how to lead with innovation and humility and love, and how to take a very unexpected obstacle and turn it into a lasting legacy of inspiration and collective triumph. But most of all, Michael, you have given us hope, and for that we are eternally grateful.
As everyone here knows, and as we have seen from so many people on the stage, the road to change is rarely an easy one. It's a journey that requires not just passion and purpose, but vulnerability, an open mind and an open heart, and an unrelenting drive to keep going. Michael, for over 30 years, you have repeatedly and courageously shown us all of that and so much more. As a husband and a father, actor and public figure, you shared your diagnosis with the world. As an activist, fighting not just for the lives and voices of patients today, but for those of generations to come. You are a lightning rod for good. Through your commitment, you've galvanized a global community of, shall we say, co-conspirators. Remarkable scientists, patients, physicians, and supporters. Your foundation has funded an astonishing $2 billion in medical research. And just this year, made a groundbreaking discovery that has opened the floodgates for expedited treatments, a potential cure for Parkinson's disease, and greater understanding of other neurological diseases. You are, yes you are, a role model for all of us here. Your actions, your victories have meant so much to so many, including my dear friend Sanjeev Mirchandani, who you met with earlier today, and who also lives with Parkinson's. And he's here with us in the audience now. With profound admiration and awe, Carolina and I are humbled to present you with the Elevate Prize Catalyst Award.
How are you?
Great. That was so
Thank you so much.
Birthday boy.
wow. That was so exciting. And congratulations on the
Thank you.
Elevate Award. Do you feel elevated?
I rarely do.
Okay. And what are you going to be doing with the money that comes with this award? Have you and Debbie and other people decided yet?
We have a phrase that we live by at the foundation, which is the science is ahead of the money. We can always find science for the money, and that's a great credit to all the great scientists and researchers and clinicians and patient groups and everybody that's come together to push this agenda, to get this done. We have another saying. We have lots of these little catchphrases to keep us going, but you can't if you don't. You can't if you don't. So do it. And we've been that's been our goal and our motto, and it served us well.
Well, it is so exciting, this latest news about this groundbreaking discovery. Debbie, what does it mean for those of us who aren't scientists and don't understand exactly how, momentous this is?
Thank you for deferring the scientific questions to Debbie.
Well, as was mentioned, this has really been a watershed year for our research efforts. In our pursuit of getting better treatments, we are on two dual tracks. One where we're just trying to fund as many therapeutic programs as possible, nurture them from kind of aha moment all the way into clinical testing. But we have been stymied from the get-go for the lack of important tools that are needed for drug development, like biomarkers. And so we have relentlessly been pursuing biomarkers, ways to measure the underlying biology of the disease now for close to 2 decades. And so finally, getting a breakthrough like this is transformative. It will enable us to be able to measure during someone's life, not at autopsy, which is the only way we can do it today, that someone actually has Parkinson's pathology, and this can transform how we do drug trials. Interestingly, being able to measure this now, not only can we see Parkinson's underway in people, it's been validated in people who already have PD and show symptoms, but we're also able to now detect the presence of the biology long before symptoms have arrived. So this really puts us on a path for prevention.
A personal note I want to add to that is when we explain that to people, I say, when I was diagnosed at 29, the great percentage of the dopamine-producing cells in my brain were already dead by the time we could do through clinical testing any kind of educated guesses. That's what I had. But we'll know. We'll be able to go in and treat and perhaps cure. Well, yes, cure.
It's so exciting. Michael, you have been working on this relentlessly. You've raised $2 billion to fund scientific research. How does that make you feel that, you had to be patient? I'm sure that wasn't always easy, but you stuck with it. You kept going, as we say. So how are you feeling? Are you kind of in awe yourself of what the scientists are doing?
It made me feel justified in my belief in people. And it made me feel like people, the people that have the wherewithal and the talent and the ability and the motivation to get this done, we just need to be prodded and given the tools. And they didn't let me down.
Yeah.
I mean, we went to these people and said, "Can you do this?" And they said, "No, but we're in." And we just, I don't know. I constantly, every day I wake up and I say, what a privilege. Like people say to me, you had this great career, this wonderful family, you could be on the beach. And then I would say that you don't get privileges and opportunities like this in your life. Like I woke up and this was in front of me, the opportunity to do this, and the people to help me get it done. And yeah, you can't turn that down.
Oh, that's exactly what we believe here at CGI, about how we solve these very hard problems. And really what you've said is it should be both an inspiration, but also a kind of, reminder that good things don't happen easily or overnight. It takes a lot of effort. And Debbie, I know that you've had a partnership through the foundation. Can you tell us more about your partnership with the Aligning Science Across Parkinson's, the ASAP initiative, funded by the Sergey Brin Family Foundation?
Yeah. Well, in any given year, we receive something like 125,000 donations. And our median gift is $50. And we obviously receive more now than we started 23 years ago or so. But all along, we've had a small percentage of those donors who've been really connected and in a position to do more. And it's made a huge difference in how we could build our impact, because we start like everybody else does, although I started with Michael, which is a little different. But you still have to kind of build what your impact can be to attract the right kind of funding. And a small number of really extraordinary strategic funding partners have joined us along the way. And it's really, it enables us to do exciting things. Sergey Brin was one of them. He made his first gift in 2005, and he's been increasing his support all along. And in 2020, he actually made a significant increased commitment through ASAP, as you mentioned. And what I find is, and today he's averaging well in excess of $100 million per year. So this is a pretty extensive partnership, but he's not the only one. Mm-hmm. And what we find is strategic philanthropy can take more risk. It can step in before you can get governments or corporations, the for-profit sector, to pick up and run with something. And so strategic philanthropy, and particularly the small number of people who can really help us figure out how fast and how far we'll go, end up making all the difference. And Sergey has been an exceptional partner in this through ASAP and other areas, but there are others. And when I think about how they originally come to us, most of these families are drawn in because they have a personal connection to Parkinson's. And a lot of times they start and they're kind of hiding that family diagnosis, and they would want to be anonymous. And so a lot of times our partnerships start somewhat behind the curtains, but over time people are more visible in their support, and it begets more opportunities. And so families like the Safras and even Andy Grove and Karen Pritzker and Ken Griffin Foundation. But even now, we just, on the heels of this biomarker, which is a really fun and informative and our important catalyst, we just have secured another $50 million gift from an anonymous donor who's for their first gift. And so these are going to help us make really important strides.
Well, I think it's important that people give, whether they give, openly or anonymously, but I don't think this work would have made the progress it's made unless Michael had been so open. And what Michael has done is to tell his story in a way that galvanized understanding and support. Michael, was that an easy decision for you to make back when you were first diagnosed, that, you know what, okay, I'm not going to keep it secret, I'm going to tell the world? And if so, what did that mean to you?
Well, I'm here a little choked up saying this, but it couldn't happen without the generous heart of my wife, who, like I said, our life is already blown up and it's weird, and it's been really weird. And she said, I'm in, and so everything that happened since then was possible. She was on board, and then it just was a wonderful thing to break down the shame or the embarrassment or there's such shame associated with illness, which is so ridiculous, and so with Parkinson's especially, people had this great need to keep it secret, to keep it concealed, and then the great cruelty of it is it's gonna out you eventually down the line. You can do it all you want, but eventually you'll know something's up, and so I needed to get to, I need to beat it to the punch. I need to say, you're about to see this happen, and you can see it happen in me doing something to stop it happening, not for me, but for people you love and people you know, and this is the more I talk to scientists, the more I talk to and had Debbie on board and doing the great work she was doing in going down these paths. And I said, "Damn, we can get this done. We can do this."
Yeah.
And that was a great thing to me, and that was a great message to impart to people was, I'm coming for the big win. I mean, we're going to get this done. We're going to do this. And to talk to a lot of people on our board early on, there were business people, hedge fund people and stuff, that were used to winning. I said, you're going to win. This is a win. And you like to win, and you get a little champagne on you, and it'll all be good.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's what happened.
Yeah.
And everybody, we got people from all over the world. And then the great thing that happened was the patients got involved. Patient families got involved. And it became something they became proud of, that they were affecting change for their community and for a broader community. And it just became much bigger than a guy on TV who got a disease the week and wanted you to help him out. It became bigger, and which I'd hoped it would be, because it is bigger than me.
Well, it is bigger than you, but you started that, that movement, and as you say, your wife and your family were so supportive. And I'm sure, Debbie, that, people in this audience and everybody watching online, they're going to say, oh, a biomarker. Well, what does that mean in actual terms of getting, some kind of help to patients and their families? Is there a way to describe that?
Yeah, so a biomarker is a critical tool that isn't a treatment in its own right, but it's the kind of thing that we encounter in our doctor's appointments and things that take a series of reports where you say, this is bothering me, and you're asked questions and you're observed in a clinical setting. The biomarkers are the kind of things that come as a result of tests. So doing a blood test and looking for certain things. This test right now is in spinal fluid, but we're very close to getting it. This is already our first next good outcome, almost ready to have it in blood. But things like imaging tests, these are all ways in which we try to observe and kind of quantify and validate that there's biology. And the reason that's important is because that's what our drugs are targeting, or our treatment, if we have surgeries, for instance. We're trying to get rid or adapt that biology. And in Parkinson's, which has been described for over more than 200 years, we've never had a way to objectively measure something that says, yes, you have Parkinson's. We can't stage it and kind of quantify it yet, but these are all things now. What we can see from other fields, like Alzheimer's, is that when you get one of these tests and that first one becomes such a strong catalyst for so much more. And so if I look at what happened in Alzheimer's about 7 years ago, now they have new drugs that have been approved for the first time. And so these things are such game changers for how we think about understanding who has a condition, who might be at high risk for a condition, if those risk factors are changing. It's what we measure when we're trying to see if interventions are working. And so biomarkers end up being key to really getting any kind of new treatments. And so this is the game changer we were waiting for.
Oh, it's so exciting. And, one of the things that Michael often says, which I particularly relate to, is through gratitude, optimism is sustainable. People ask me all the time if I am optimistic or if I'm still an optimist. And, you know, I do tell them I'm an optimist who worries a lot. And that's kind of my self-description. But through gratitude, optimism is sustainable. And, you know, Michael, the last word is yours. How do you sustain that gratitude and that optimism?
Well, just the very fact that we're here right now talking about this as it's a positive thing, and it's a responsibility and an opportunity and a privilege we all have to move the ball forward, whether it's in world peace or whether it's in climate change or whether it's in disease cure and prevention. We'd be grateful for the fact that we can get together and do this. And it's just, so what was the thing we were talking about? We'll never remember it, but we were going through all these koans that we live by, and there's so many of them. But one thing, personal thing I always say about Parkinson's is a gift. It's a gift that keeps on taking, but it's a gift. And that's gratitude and optimism in the face of something that's difficult. But we can all get this done. We get all of our problems. We came here today, put them in a pile. We'll get them all done because we're here.
Absolutely. If we keep going, thank you to Michael J. Fox and Debbie Brooks. Thank you so much.
Good to see you.
Oh, my gosh. Wow.
Stay here for a second so that Mike comes out.
Congratulations again.
I'm going to fall on you.